always kept so calm. I could barely even handle myself. When we got into it, my fate was sewn. Too young to know that you were ruling my throne. As I was finding my way, you blinded me, baby. Got me thinking I was going crazy. You pulled the strings till I didn't matter. You broke my spirit and I let it happen. I'm calling it in. I'm the king of my own. Whoa, got a devil on my shoulder trying to tear me from the angel I know. Whoa, you can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. You can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. Even now that I've hardened my shell, it's not over, I'm still under your spell. I'm the strongest that I've ever been. I never knew that you could pull me back in. Now that I'm finding my way, you deafen me, baby. Get me thinking that I'm going crazy. You pull the strings, but it doesn't matter. Can't break my spirit, I won't let it happen. I'm the king of my own. Whoa, got a devil on my shoulder trying to tear me from the angel I know. Whoa, you can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. You can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. You can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. You can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. You can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own.
All right, guys.
I've been down
Just,
before, but not
how's everyone
this
going?
long.
How's everyone doing?
I see the signs, but I
Let's
don't
get
know
started here.
which way to
Shut the music
go.
off.
What if I could escape?
Everyone have a good weekend? It's Monday. It's Monday, right? Yes. As a full-time producer, singer, songwriter, I rarely know what day it is. But it's nice to be back in the hot seat. Hey, Rohit. Hey, Crosslight. And hello, Hridish Mandal. Good to have you guys in the chat tonight/today. It's 7:30 in Berlin. I'm going to show you guys how I start a song from scratch, going through what you're looking at here. This is a song I just wrote today, and I started from scratch. So scratch meaning nothing. And we'll go through how you build up from nothing to some type of song where you can then produce it and get it mixed and then released. So that's how the process starts. And I'll just get into it. If everyone just joining in, hey guys. Thanks very much. Skeletons in Your Closet, one of my favorites too. Thanks, Rohit. Really appreciate that. I'm very happy with that song. Hey, what do you think of Goodbye, the song I just released last week? I'm curious to get your thoughts on that too, because it's just a different energy than Skeletons in Your Closet. So, okay, guys. Anyone just joining in, welcome. Happy Monday. It is happy, isn't it? And this is a little tune I wrote today. And I'm going to play it for you now, and I'll show you how I started from scratch. And hopefully you guys can just take some of these tips it's gonna like my process isn't gonna work for everyone, but the goal of this video is just to give you insight, context of what other singer-songwriters do, and you can take bits and pieces to see what works for you in this process. So this is gonna be a bit of a tutorial video, and then please, I encourage you to ask questions in the chat, and we can use this as like a sounding board for you guys. If you have questions about Logic, or you see something in my session here you want to know about, ask me and I'd be happy to talk about it and give you the insight. I find it's much more valuable to do it in live sessions when there's a bit of more of a conversation going in the chat other than me just blabbering on. So this is a little tune I wrote today. Might need to bump up the stereo out because it's really not mastered at all yet. I'll just bump up the gain, I think, with the Pro L.
I've been waiting for a time to let you go. This hesitation is feeling pulling me down against my...
There is something going on. Sorry, I think I'm gonna need to just increase my buffer size. I had a lower buffer size there because I was recording. I'm gonna increase that up, and I don't need software monitoring anymore. Computer was not happy about that. Let's just initialize the audio there. How's everyone doing though? Where are you tuning in from? We have Rohit from India. What time is it in India, Rohit? Are you early morning riser or late night? I'm not in Spain, but this mug suggests I am. It's a Spanish mug. Okay, now that is initialized, let's get back to this. Have you tried writing a dark pop song? Yes, I have actually. I wrote a Billie Eilish style song. I can show you later if you're interested, Chica. It's kind of bass heavy, Billie Eilish. 12:12. Well, late night riser or sleeper. So thanks for joining in, Rohit.
I've been waiting for a time to let you go. This hesitation is feeling pulling me down against my soul. I wish we were dreaming, but there's mirrors on the ceiling.
How's it going, Joe?
We got our reason. Now we're driving on a cool night, staring at a flat line, waiting on the right time, chasing cars through the night, coming down from an all-time high. When I let go, I pay the price with the bittersweetness sacrifice. But when the darkness hits the sky, I'm gonna hold my head up high.
So simple little tune there, and that's half a song. That's a verse, pre-chorus, and chorus, which really makes up the 50% of a song. And this video, so hey Joel, thanks for joining in, and hey Chica, yeah, I would. Are you suggesting like a lyric there, Chica? You didn't see my first breath, but you want me to see your last. Kind of a cool lyric if you're suggesting that in the song. Super down to have suggestions on this type of thing. So anyone tuning in, and for you guys, again, sorry to repeat, we're going to just break down how I started this song from scratch, so you can take some of just get context and insight from what I do, and maybe that's helpful to you. If not, please just ask questions and we can have a chat, and I can help you out if best I can if you have any questions about things. So basically this morning I wrote this song from scratch. I came into the studio here and didn't have any ideas. So usually starting a song from scratch without anything is really hard. So it's nice to come into a session with some type of idea. That could be a chord progression, that could be a lyric, like Chica just suggested. You didn't see my first breath, but you want me to see your last. That could be like, okay, let's write a song about that. That could be an idea. That's all we need to get started. It could be a guitar lick. It could be a drum beat. Anything, really. Some type of starting point. You need something. So if you don't come into this session with anything, then you need to start something. So for example, today I didn't have anything to go with. So I just sat down at this MIDI keyboard. I opened up a session of Contact and just had a keys going and just kind of started with this chord progression. So it's fairly standard. That is like a one. C to the C to the hammer G. So your like standard chord progressions here. Who knows their music theory really well? I'm not super solid on my theory, but I know it well enough where I can kind of get by. Also, how do you record your vocals? Like, do you have a vocal booth, or is it just post-processing? I'm struggling with my vocals not being good enough, like room noise and so forth. Cool. I will get to that in a second, Chica. Stick around just for a couple more minutes, and then I'll get into the vocal and how I just recorded this scratch vocal, which is fairly rough. But I'll talk about how to record pro vocals in a second. So I had this this little keys thing. I didn't add this bass in till like the moment before I started this live stream, just to add some depth. Just a simple MIDI bass, nothing really happening here. And okay, so you guys are okay with theory? Because sometimes I'm gonna probably like, oh my, I just said theory, and Siri just opened up on my phone. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you, Siri. I said theory, not Siri, although they sound very similar. Theory. So I like to first get the chord progression, and then I start right away getting melody ideas down. How I do this is I add... Does my mic keep dropping? I add a audio track, and I just get... Depending on how the key I'm in, sometimes I'll just like set to record and loop it on the progression, and I'll just blabber stuff into the mic to come up with melody ideas. And that's how I come up with melody ideas. And this is just a process that works for me. I find it difficult for me to just hear a piece of music like the keyboard and write lyrics to. That could come easy to you. It comes easy to other people I know. For me, I like to come up with some type of vocal melody, and then I match the lyrics to the melody. So let's actually just do that actually. All right. I'm going to copy these. Okay. I'm getting the lyrics for you guys, and I'm going to copy them into the session here so we can look at them. Okay, so little notes file on Logic for anyone who didn't know that. I also want to make sure just to keep an eye on my audio. Last live, we did a live music marketing live session on Friday, and it cut out like halfway through the video, and I ended up just chatting to myself for most of the live session until I looked at my OBS platform here and realized I was muted the whole time. Okay, so Chica's, you're mainly ear trained, and Cynic Studios, you're absolutely horrible with theory. That's all right. honestly, the thing is, you don't have to be that great at music theory. It's more important to have a really good ear. And if you can hear things and feel things, it sounds super kind of like, yeah, I mean, I, I think it's fine if you can. For me, I'm a mix of both. I hear things really well, but also I did take some piano lessons and guitar lessons, so I have a bit of a foundation. We can hear you. Good. That is good. No, I'm keeping an eye on this. Okay, let's get into it. So, all right. So these lyrics, I've been waiting for a time to let you go. This hesitation, I feel it pulling me down against my soul. This came from. This is kind of like the verse. This is kind of like the pre. This is kind of like the chorus. So I didn't write these lyrics just like sitting here thinking about it. I first wrote the chorus actually this morning, and then I wrote the other parts. And I where I found the idea of the song was when I like had this. I sang this lyric, "Hold my head up high," and I thought it could be a song about like someone, being down in the dumps. Maybe they broke up with their girlfriend or boyfriend and they're down the dumps, and when the darkness fills, or I actually said when the darkness hits the sky, I'm going to hold my head up high. So that is enough of a section there where you have a bit of a lyric where you're like, okay, now I know what the song's about, then I can go and write the lyrics. But it's very difficult if you don't know what the song is about. Don't start writing lyrics. Obviously, you're going to have to start somewhere and get some ideas for lyrics, but what I found really works for me is I've spent hours and hours writing songs and gone around and around, hours and hours, and it feels like such a hurdle because you don't know what the song is about. And like it seems really easy, but like you got to figure out what the song is about and then just write about that thing, and then don't change your mind, stick to it and write the song. So once I stuck with that, I was like, okay, that's the song. I'm going to write the song. And if the song is good, the song is good. If the song is not good, the song is not good. It's okay. You'll write another song tomorrow. And like, it's okay. Like, you're not going to write a lot of good songs. You're going to write a lot more bad songs than you are going to write good songs. That's unfortunate, but it is true. Oh, okay, just catching it. Can you if you can hear, then you know what you want the music to sound like despite the ear. Yeah, that's true. That is really true. Good point. Can you make a tutorial on how to make like lost frequencies or Kygo sounds? Yeah, I mean, totally. I'm a big fan of Kygo and EDM music and Avicii and that kind of thing. So why not? Let's do it. Wow, that's beautiful. Heck, I need to make dark pop bass stuff and super dark energy, but pumping at the same time. Preach, Charles. Cool. Chica, you're on fire. You're on fire. Yeah, dark pop is super. I can do how to make a dark pop song video. Maybe that could be cool, because it's dark pop is cool. I love the dark minor key with gritty bass. Greetings from Vancouver Island. Awesome. Lots of friends from Vancouver, so nice to see ya. Good old fellow Canadian there. Today I made 3 new tracks, no vocals and no words. Still got my audio interface. Awesome, man. The 3 and 3. What kind of interface do you have? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna kind of go back and forth in the comments as I rant, and feel free to keep asking questions and this kind of thing. So okay, so I had the chord progression. I was singing in this track. I was like vocal takes, like vocal take 1, let's say, and then I was like recording it, and I was going like da 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 da. And if you, a quick little tip, if you aren't good at singing, put on a auto tune over here. Go to pitch correction, mono, find the key of your song. And this is not in C major. So this is A minor. So you could go to like natural minor, A, and then go put the response time to fast. So you're going to sound like T-Pain. And then sing like that. Sing blabber stuff into the melody. Try to sing lyrics, like whatever comes to mind. Now I'm saying all this stuff like do this, and do this. This is just stuff I do, by the way. It's not right and it's not wrong. So what I do is like I sing whatever comes to my head lyrically, and that's where this word came up. I was like da, 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 head high, you know, and then I was like, okay, that's a cool lyric, and I'll write the whole song around that. And most of my songs that I've ever written have been doing this process. And then when you get into writing the verses and the pre's and actually starting to fill it out, then you are like, okay, I need to refine the melody, you know, like it needs structure. Like, for example, like, cool night. Now we're driving on a cool night. Staring at a flat line, waiting on the right time. Chasing cars through the night, coming down from an all-time high. When I let go, I pay the price. And then you got to figure out like what what the structure is of your chorus. The chorus is the best part of the song. It's what the memorable part of the song is. Excuse me. Ria, you don't know anything. That's cool. If you're here just to hear music, then you're in the right place. Does he have any real somatic progressive heavy beats low key to make some moolah with it? I'm not sure what that is. What headphones are you using right now? Right now, I'm using Bose headphones actually, and they're super comfortable. This is why I wear them. I have my monitor headphones here, but I prefer to wear the comfortable ones when I'm doing sessions like this because they just don't hurt my ears. They're the only headphones I can wear that I can wear literally for 8 hours, and they're super comfortable. They don't press on my head. But it's better if you're going to mix with headphones, like use monitor headphones, because these are Bose and they enhance some of the low end, and like they shade. They're doing a small EQ, I think, on the sound because they're like for listening to music. Wow, that's a hard question. Last time, if you had one song to listen to the rest of life, which one would it be? Sexual Healing remix or no? Okay, would it be Sexual Healing remix or No Diggity remix? That's like I'm not familiar with the remixes, but if you're generally just speaking about remixes, like I mean No Diggity, like the Chet Baker remix is just super super good. Ding is too dingy. I'm not sure what that means. 1 GTBS-SK. Sounds good. What headphones? Wait. Is Charles okay? Model? What? Of course I'm okay. What are you worried about? I'm totally fine. I'm feeling good. How are you? I keep just bending over. Maybe that's why, because my mic stand. Anyone know what really good mic stands are? Like I'm using these, like the K&M ones in Germany. They're like your kind of standard brand, but I'm from Canada and like I'm not. They're very different actually, the manufacturing. So love the German manufacturing industry, but the stands seem to not be as good. Okay, so yeah, can you tell me the name of the song which you played before? So okay, every guys. Wow. Okay, let's do that again. If you're just joining, I'm kind of doing this video how to start a song from scratch, and I'm going through a process of just giving you guys context and insight of what I did this morning. I wrote this song this morning. There's the lyrics on the side here, and just telling you how I did it and how it came about from scratch. I hope with the hopes that you can take some of this knowledge in your own process. And like, I'm just trying to tell you honestly too that these songs sometimes don't come out the way you wanted to, and that's okay too, and giving you a bit of inspiration, and that like when you write a song, it's not always going to sound good. Like this, sure, this is a cool song. It's rough, and I know that, and you should also know that when it comes to your own writing too. After you have a session, it's good to sit on a song, like try to get to a point in your session where you're happy with it. I'm pretty happy with it here. I would stop, and then in a couple days I would re-listen to this. Like I would bounce this section and I would re-listen to it in a couple days, and it'd be like, yeah, that's good. You know, I want to produce that up and write a second verse. And oftentimes I'm like, that's it. You know, that's what the song is, and I'm not gonna carry on from there. However, this is me doing this, having written many hundreds of songs. If you're just starting out songwriting, so who's just starting out songwriting, or is everyone just like a seasoned professional in the comments? Because if you're just starting out, I would recommend finishing songs, learning how to write a full song from start to finish. Verse, pre-chorus, bridge, chorus, that kind of simple structure, and you finish songs in that way, so you can know how to like write a verse. If you're just writing songs that are verse, pre, and chorus, and that's it, like this one, then you're never going to know how to write a second verse and that kind of thing. Okay, wow, Chica, you've been writing songs since you were 10. Wow, that's pretty wild. That's way longer than me. 17 tracks. That's a lot of tracks. Are you talking about beats, or are you talking about full-on produced songs? That's super cool, Riha. I totally think you should get that song out there then. If you think it's worth singing in a crowd, then get it out there. Do I prefer GarageBand audio mixing program for beginners? You could totally mix in GarageBand. It's more difficult because it doesn't really have a solid mixing interface. For example, there is no mixer, and there's no inspector window. There's no busing. So yeah, but simple mixes you can do in GarageBand. No problem at all. Simple stuff. Okay, so here we go, guys. So I have came up with the chorus section, had a melody, and then I figured out the structure to the chorus. And so this is like driving on a cold night, staring at a flat line, waiting on the right time, chasing cars through the night, coming down from an all-time high. When I let go, I paid the price, but with bitterness, sweetness, sacrifice. So it's kind of like you have to find the right rhyme scheme for your chorus, and you can hear this one, you can see this one visually by the lyrics.
Now we're driving on a cold night, staring at a flat line, waiting on the right time, chasing cars through the night, coming down from an all-time high. When I let go.
So it's kind of like A, driving on a cold night, staring at a flat line. This is kind of like your It's kind of like an A. She's on a cold night. Staring at the flat that we on the right time. Sing cards tonight. All the time. Be something like that. There's like melodically, like this is a standard chorus, right? You have one part that's like driving on a cold night, staring at a flat line, waiting on the right time, chasing cars through the night, coming down from an all-time high. This is like one piece here that's very rhythmically the same, following a rhyme structure. Then you have the B part. When I let go, I pay the price, but with a bittersweet sacrifice. It kind of like goes about somewhere else melodically a bit, keeping a similar rhyme structure, and then coming back in. But when the darkness hit the sky, and then you have the tagline, I'm gonna hold my head up high. So what makes the chorus work is the tagline rhymes with the line above it. So when the darkness hits the sky, I'm gonna hold my head up high. You don't have to rhyme, but that's much more satisfying when the tagline rhymes with the line before it. It's like I don't care who you are, it's satisfying to your ear whether you like it or not.
When I let go, I pay the price with the bittersweetness sacrifice. But when the darkness hits the sky, I'm gonna hold my head up high.
Like if you said, when the darkness hits the bar, I'm gonna hold my head up high, it would just be like, that's cool, but ooh, it like leaves you feeling wrong. You need to tie those off. Rhyme is not just like because you use rhymes because it sounds good, but it also provides structure to the listener. Okay, so let's catch up here. That's not what I meant. Okay, your mic is too low. Is it that low? I mean, we're coming in at...
Now we're driving on a cool...
No, it's not. Your mic is too low, I think, man. This is coming in super hot. I don't want to pump it any louder. It sounds like it could be country pop. Morgan Wallenworthy. That's cool. I also felt like it had that country like visual aspect to it when I was writing the lyrics, like driving and chasing cars, and this kind of country music is so great because it's so visual. So I think country pop, who knows. 18 people, yeah, welcome y'all. Chica's right. 18 people and still climbing high. I'm super stoked on this one. I've just started the live streams not too long ago, and I'm really grateful of everyone joining in. So thank you a lot for coming into the live stream, guys. And this is Monday, right? So I'm doing music production Monday live streams, and then Friday I'm doing music marketing live streams. So it's like we'll talk about how we make music and write music from a songwriting and production perspective on Mondays, and then Fridays we'll talk about how we get Spotify streams and how we get followers and how we can market our music. Because I actually, like, my background is more from the business and marketing side. I've only been on the production and music side for the last 5 years, but before that I was in business and marketing. So I like to do on my channel, it's both music business and marketing and music production. Yeah, Ria, sorry. Go for it. Get your music out there. You can always make music till no matter what age you are. Oh, thanks TH3N33F. I really appreciate that. For the kind words. Thank you. So, okay, I got the chorus, and then I had to figure out, and then I added the drum kick, like simple kick snare. using the step sequencer here. And I like to sing to a beat, some type of rhythm. I do have a video that talks about like 3 drum patterns you can rely on. A lot of times I'm just having a kick and snare to get things going, and then you usually figure out within your song if kick and snare isn't working very quickly because it's such a straight beat. Sometimes you're like, if something's wrong, it's likely your beat is not matching maybe the swing to your chord progression, or the rhythmic pattern of your progression. But kick and snare would really work with this song because it's quite a straight beat. So I had just used the step sequencer here. And then I converted these to MIDI regions. I don't know why there's sustain on this, but I'm going to delete that. And then, okay, so when I had this kind of section, I had to start writing the verse. And so I knew from a progression standpoint, I had started on the 1, I believe.
I wish we were dreaming, but there's mirrors on the ceiling, and we got our reason. Now we're driving on a cool.
So I'm not sure. I'm trying to see what value I can add to you. When I wrote this verse section, it was very similar to how I wrote the chorus section this morning. And anyone just joining in, this is kind of like just giving you guys tips on how I wrote this song from scratch this morning. So thanks for joining in, by the way. And I did the same thing where I had the audio track up here, and I just started singing melody in my head. And that's how I came up with the lyrics. Actually, I could even try to find it for you. Would be in this take folder somewhere. Like here's what I do. Actually, I should have just done this. So I have 32 takes of vocals. And these aren't just takes, like this is probably just blabber stuff here.
I've been waiting for someone to keep me up.
So like this is like the first take just came to my head, and actually it sounded pretty verse-like, so I stayed with
I've been waiting for someone to keep me up, and I've been praying I can see a little one to love me. Oh, I got my reasons.
So, like, typically when I'm doing this kind of stuff, just like spitting whatever into the mic, I know like at bar 8 I'm gonna have to change the rhythm. So like here, I'm pointing at my screen, you can't see that. Here I have to change it, and I did here. Like right here, change the rhythm.
I got my reasons. But there's mirrors on the ceiling.
That's the actual real take there. So you get the idea. This is what I do, and then I do a few of those. I stick to the things I like, and I don't stop doing those until I find something I like. Then I pick the thing I like, then I put lyrics around it. and then you have a song. And then when you find the lyrics, this is kind of when you get into the detail of the melody more, because you're like, because you haven't fully confirmed the melody yet. You're choosing words, and words will dictate also the melody, because all words sound different. So this is where the melody also really comes to life, and you shape the tone, and you changing little bits here and there. But from this, I've been waiting for someone to keep me on, and I've been praying, 'cause I can see your little one to love me. I guess it's more or less. Oh man, I had the full comp somewhere, but I guess I'll just choose this one. I've been waiting for a time to let you go. So it's more or less the same. This hesitation, I feel it pulling me down against my soul. I wish we were. So it's more or less the same. So it's different here and there because of the words and the tone, but yeah, that sounds pretty good. Courses are hard for me to produce. Okay, it's catching up here. Oh, thanks, man. Your Logic tutorials are helping me a lot. I'm learning the basics still. That's great. That's really great. You still have tons of time this year and your life to get really good at it. So I'm sure you will. Good night, Riha, if you're gone. Yeah, wow, I wrote this morning. Oh, thanks, Kramkiss. Yeah, I wrote this morning. And actually, this was a good segue to when you are writing melodies like this. One thing I really wish I knew, if you're just songwriting, is I was so hard on myself when I came up with melodies that I would want like the first melody and the pre and the chorus, they all had to be like super catchy and awesome. And I realized after time, you just need to like, don't be so hard on yourself when you're coming up with melodies, because you don't have the perspective yet if it's good or not. And so write the song and then you'll see if it's good, and keep doing that, and they will get better, because the first choice of melodies when you just start songwriting aren't going to be that good. But when you learn how to write melodies more, they'll become better. And now I usually almost pick whatever comes to mind, and I just kind of go with it, because time is of the essence, and you want to write more songs than you want to spend 30 days writing 30 songs versus writing only one in 30 days and making the best song in 30 days. I'd rather write 29 bad ones and one good one in that time. So how do I go about writing a second verse for this many revisions? That's a good question. So I would first sleep on this song. This is probably what I'll do for tonight, and I'll listen to it in the next couple of days and see if I'm really liking it still. Then, if I do like it, I'll continue writing the story. So the story is really about someone who's, even though for the perspective I wrote it in, is someone who's just broke up with their partner, and they don't know how to do it. But when they do it, because they don't want to do it, but when they do it, they'll still hold their head up high, and that the other person can still hold their head up high, because it just wasn't working. So the first verse is from, let's say, from the guy's perspective. Let's say it's a guy-girl relationship. So the first verse is about from the guy's perspective. I've been waiting for a time to let you know, like, I'm in pain, like lots of feelings, don't know when to do it. chorus is about we're driving here, like, are we gonna do it in the car? Like, are we gonna have this conversation that we don't want to talk about? So maybe the second verse is her perspective, or maybe the second verse is future, or maybe the second verse is I saw you again. I hope you're doing well. Like, just make it a linear thing. It doesn't also have to be linear, but it's a good place to start, just as a story, like a linear story. So if the first verse is about his perspective, maybe the second verse is about her perspective. That's how I think of it as a story. Okay, so, and in terms of the production, it's good to be open-minded with all this stuff too, because as soon as we start producing this song, it also takes on a new life. So really the focus of the song is like kind of the bass and drums here really shouldn't be shouldn't be there actually, because you really want to, before we add a song or produce a song, we want to make sure, is the song really good on its own? Rhythmically, is it structured? Is there a rhyme scheme? Does it make sense, the story? Is it too slow? Is it too fast? Is it the right key for your voice? You'll notice I actually wrote it and I pitched it up because I was like, I wanted to sing it higher. So, and I think it was like way slower too. Yeah, I think it was down here. These first takes on the chorus, I think it was slow. No, I even tried to speed it up to 129. That's a 129 take.
Cold
Wow. Sorry if it broke your ears there.
cold night, staring at a flat line and waiting on the right time. Chasing cars through the night, all-time high. When I let go, I pay the price. But with the cold night, driving on a cold night, staring at a flat line, waiting on the right time. Chasing cars through the night, coming down from an all-time high. When I let go, I pay the price, but with the bittersweetness, sacrifice.
So that is super fast, but I tried it out because this is all MIDI data, so you can just change the tempo of your session to whatever you want, and will sound okay. And then with the vocal, I just did a take folder, and I used the text tool and wrote the tempo in of that take. So I tested in 129, and I also tested 120, and then 115, which is what I decided on. I just found this too fast. It just felt a bit rushed.
Driving on a cold night, staring at a flat line, waiting on the right time. Chasing cars through the night, coming down from an all-time high. When I let go, I pay the price, but with the bittersweetness, sacrifice. When the darkness fills.
So it's cool, like where I think it's too fast is like this part sounds cool, like
Driving on a cold night,
there's lots of space, it's good space.
staring at a flat line, waiting on the right time.
This is good.
Chasing cars through the night, coming down from an all-time high.
It's too busy here.
When I let go, I pay the price, but with the bittersweetness, sacrifice.
So, and especially here.
Sacrifice. When the darkness fills the sky, I'm going.
So it's good to test, the principle is test out different tempos. So 120, and then that was a 120 take. So just go up to the top, 120. Let's see what this sounds like.
Driving on a cold night,
Sounds super slow now.
stare at a flat line, waiting at the right time, chasing cars through the night, coming down from an all-time high. When I let go, I pay the price, but with a bittersweetness sacrifice. When the darkness fills the sky, I'm gonna hold my head up high.
It's a bit different rhythmically. In this one, it's a bit different. Yeah, sorry, rhythmically. But that's the problem. As soon as you go up high tempo and then bring it down, you're like, oh no, this is way too slow. So it's always good just like to do fresh year takes. So leave it at that, then come back to it and listen to it, because you'll forget the what 129 sounds like, for example. Which tempo do you like, Kremskis? The 120? Oh, you're a little confused. What do you mean by ladder? Like building up this? Oh, I think I said linear. Ladder by ladder, slower by slower. Love. We'll take. Cool. I'm digging 120 as well. I think I'd like to keep it there. And now, too bad, but I didn't record the verses and stuff in 120, so I'd have to go do that again. But that's not so much trouble. Okay, I'm gonna quickly talk about recording vocals, like to do scratch takes like this, and then we'll wrap it up like that. And for today, and then Friday we're gonna do music marketing one, and then take a look, guys, if you want some help with Logic and music production, some of my videos on my channel. Okay, so when I'm doing scratch vocals, it's pretty simple. I'll record raw, usually, like no effects. Sometimes reverb if you want mood. Like, put effects on. There's no problem with that. Anything you want. I do add reverb sometimes if I want to get set in a mood. Or if I'm feeling like, oh, my voice just needs some help, then you can also record with compression or record with autotune. It doesn't really matter. I like to record raw because I know I can hear myself the best, and if I know I can get the raw take sounding good, I know anything on top of that is going to sound just going to be icing on the cake. So I go track, new audio track, set your buffer size to like a low excuse me, a low buffer size, like depending on how your computer can handle it. I'm usually at 128 or lower, and this will reduce the latency if you're using system monitoring, which means if you want to hear yourself in your headphones while you're recording vocals, you got to have this on. And then when all that is set up in the settings, if you're recording raw, hit record and you're off to the races. Sorry, not yet. You're not off to the races yet. You have to set your gain on your audio interface. And yeah, I like to record, -10, -6. In between there, vocals works for me, especially on the dynamic of the song. I will record the verse and pre separately because the chorus I'm singing much more loud, so I wouldn't be able to record them at the same time unless I had someone kind of dialing the gain back, and I don't want to leave that all up to compression, so I record them at separate. I keep like my microphone's going down and down. I keep like leaning down, but I'm almost done, so I'm just gonna lean like this for a bit. Sorry, this is super awkward. And so when you have your raw vocals, then you can I would add an EQ. So if you're using Logic EQ, that's cool. I would add a compressor. If you're using Logic compressors, that's also cool. I use the Fab filter set, but these are super good. I've used these for a long time and still do sometimes. Yeah, and then you can add auto-tune if you want. I would definitely add a reverb, either bust out your reverb or you can put it on the channel too if you'd like. So man, where's the reverb now? I have so many paid plugins that I don't use these anymore, but do like maybe a small plate. Is it plates? Oh, there. Like a vocal plate would be nice. And then you could also bust out like a bigger reverb, maybe. Something like Valhalla or a Space Designer reverb. Like, it gives it a bit more depth. Because you want a reverb that's like close. So it is in front and the listener can really hear you and kind of like feel you almost. But you want some of the reverb behind the vocals so it adds a lot of depth too. I gotta put this up. I'm like leaning. I'm almost my chin's at my computer now. So you gotta add that large reverb to have like depth. And then you can that's all I'll do for scratch vocals. But to go on, you would add de-essers in. Oh, where's the de-esser again? There it is. And then you could add, and like, so those are the fundamentals that you should add on a vocal. Okay, guys, this has been fun. I had fun, and I enjoyed showing you this song I made this morning. And if you think it's valuable to do this together sometime, if you have the time for it, or if you'd like to watch a recording of it after, then we can do this just together and I can write a song with you, and you could even help me with the lyrics or with your experience as well doing songwriting, and we could do it together. Oh, thanks, Krampus. Yeah, I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Thanks for following me on Spotify, man. Really appreciate that. If you guys also take after Krampus, he just went to follow me on Spotify, listen to some of my music, so I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot, man. And we will see you guys maybe on Monday for the next Monday for the live session, or this Friday for the music marketing one. And have a good week, guys. Stay safe and stay warm.